Hello and welcome to the fifth and final round for the red-green Omnath Ramp deck. We'll go straight into the game. That looks... it's a little bit slow, but once the tireless trackers are on the field, we start drawing a heap of cards, so I'm going to keep that. So throw down the Cinderglade first up. Let's see what we're up against. This could be another blue-white deck. Come on, something different. Come on, something different. What do you got? Okay, that's something different. I don't know what this deck is. I don't have a clue, in fact. So it looks to be some sort of Eldrazi based deck. I'm going to say it's something along the lines of Drowner of Hope kind of thing. Probably see some Thought Not Seers and such. It might even be blue-white still, but just a different variation of it. For something along the lines of Eldrazi Displacer. Beside that, I'm actually quite unsure as to what. Okay, Deadlock Trap. Interesting. Interesting indeed. So, I think I'm just going to go into second tracker here. And then that way I can just get the two clues. And then next turn I can throw down Nissa. It might have been better to do the Deathcap Cultivator here, just because it does allow for a little bit of ramp. It would just cut a turn off the trip up to Omnath, but I think this is okay. So they've just said that their computer is freaking out, so this might not be the full game. It might not last the full game, sorry. Okay, here we go. Back into something here, at the very least. Let's see if that was just that one phase. Okay, good. So they're going through a few phases a bit quicker now. A bit quicker. Not necessarily quickly, though. Oh. Maybe. Maybe we're on the roll. Are we on a roll? Do-do-do-do-do-do. Okay, so that guy unfortunately wasn't able to continue his game. He had to concede just because of his computer, I suppose. So looks like we went ahead and went 2-3 by accident. So we'll just go over the deck here again once it opens up. So where are we? Card view. Overall, I don't mind the deck. I admit that Mina and Den probably wasn't as useful as it could have been. I don't think I ever played it, and I only had the opportunity to play it once or twice, but I was siding it out pretty much every game just because it didn't seem super useful. the offshoots are probably also along the same lines. They probably would be better off changing out for something that searches for a land instead of just gaining 1 life. The Cultivator and the Elvenwald Captives were fine. Talus Tracker is always fun. Undergrowth Champion, I think it performed alright. It was a reasonable... It was a good blocker, if nothing else. It helped pretty much hold the fort when Omnath was out on the field. Hedron Archive, it was fine. I used it a couple of times to get to draw some cards, so that was good. Nissa was surprisingly good. I knew it was an alright card, but it certainly isn't... it's not everywhere at the moment. And it turned out alright. I never used the neg 3. A lot of the time I just didn't have anything in the graveyard. There's a lot of exile in the current standard, so that's where most of it went. But the untapped land becoming a 5/5 and the emblem to draw a card whenever land enters the field is pretty good when you're putting up to like 3 or 4 lands onto the field each turn, or on in a single turn. Chandra, I think there needs to be more of in this deck, in the main board, that is. I'd possibly swap those out for some Mina and Den. That performed very well, especially when Omnath was out on the field. Those elemental tokens, they're either getting in for 3 damage or they're getting it blocked and deal 3 damage anyway. So it's a win-win for those. I did use it for removal a couple of times, which is also why I kind of want more. And probably needed maybe at least 2 in the deck instead of 1, maybe 3. This is Renewal was fine, a little bit of life gain. Omnath, when it got up and running, was fantastic. Can't really doubt that one too much. To the sideboard, don't really know why the Hedron Archives is in there. It just doesn't really fit. Like I can't think of a situation where I would want to bring that in. The Green Warden and Marasa, similar to the neg 3 ability of Nissa, it just doesn't get used as much as you would want. And it is a 6-drop, so it is kind of a pain. If there were maybe some more decks using black hand destruction, I could maybe consider it. That's the reasoning I had it in there. But besides that, it is just a straight up decent creature. 5/4, it's not too bad. The Retreat of Kazandu was probably quite pointless. In the initial version of this deck did have, I think, 3 or 4 in the main board, and I swapped those out for Mina and Den and something else. Can't remember what it was. And it seemed to perform alright, but there was no point where I wanted to bring that in. Again, that might be alright against something like an aggro deck of some sort. So maybe like a white humans deck, or maybe one of the red decks or something. In this situation, wasn't fantastic, but that is why it's there. Appetite for the Unnatural was fine. There's still plenty of artifact decks running around. Smuggler's Copter is always going to be there. Same with Clip the Wings. That's good for Avacyn and Smuggler's Copter. More Chandras, as I said, they were great. Radiant Flames, that I could fairly consistently do that for 3 damage, so I had no issues with that. Maybe there were a few times where I shouldn't have cast it when I did. Certainly when Avacyn was out on the field and it ended up killing all my other stuff. But it is what it is. Devouring Flames was alright. That would be a fantastic instant card. But as a sorcery, it's not the greatest. I feel like there could have been other removal been used. Even something like Harness Lightning would for the most part be fine. If you were to put something in there, say the land, can't remember what it's called, the Aether something. Can't remember what it is. The one that when it enters the field, get an energy counter. You simply put one of those in, and then you can Harness Lightning for 4, and it's probably just as good. Yes, it targets a Planeswalker, so that's probably not a bad idea. I mean, that is pretty much where I used it. I think I cast it on Gideon twice. There were a few too many of those blue-white decks. Amongst all the decks that I versed, I don't know what that last one was, and I didn't really play a game, unfortunately. Seemed to be some sort of Eldrazi control. There was also a green-black zombie one, zombie deck in there. That was annoying. Pretty much, I won that because I was able to build a wall of elemental tokens with Omnath, and that pretty much is all that kept me alive. The blue-white control decks are a pain. Indestructibility is a hell of a thing when you're trying to do things like burn and I suppose creature damage as well. So that was a pain in the ass, but overall wasn't too bad. Probably maybe not built for a blue-white heavy meta, but it certainly did all right. So this will more than likely be the last, maybe the last video for the year. I might be able to do one next week. But for all those who are celebrating Christmas, enjoy it. If you're doing any other holiday, enjoy that also. If you have any, as I've mentioned this before, I think, but if you have any deck lists that you'd like me to try out, I've got a little bit of leeway on the price, but like around the $40 or $50 would probably be around my maximum, maybe a little bit more if it's interesting. But I'd love to give some user decks a go. So just shoot me a list in the comments. Just do a tapped out deck list or something like that. And I think that's it. Can't think of anything else. Anyway, enjoy your holidays, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.